Oh, there we go. Okay. Sheesh. InShalla. Shay had a little glitch there with my live stream. Wasn't sure it was going to work there for a minute. Anyways, welcome to the Daily Snippet. Yes, I do have a little cold. And so, yeah, we're just going to roll with it. So if I'm sniffly, it is what it is. But welcome again to the Daily Snippet. I am Tonya D, holistic Sha'medium and subtle energy surgeon. I should probably just do a show all about that. And today is October 19th, Tuesday, and it's actually rainy in my neck of the woods all night and into the day. So you know what that means, it's a day to make some soup. So are you getting ready for the magic of this full moon? Moving us into the future with our relations and how we relate or what we want to upcycle in our relationship field. So what would you say your relationship quota is? We really need to ground our feelings, especially the juicy ones that we really want to grow, to plant the seed, the growth and the intention for the ascension and also the descension. I feel like it goes both directions. And being the beauty that you wish to see in the world, because you're an aspect of that as well. But on the elemental highway, we have a young water rat day, Geng Zi. So metal, young metal. It's supporting. It's the partner below. That energy is actually supporting the partner, the energy of the day, the rat, right below it. That's the partnership branch in the 4 pillars is the element right below it. Kind of tells you what the relationship is going to be like in partnerships. And since we're at the end of the partnership season, that's a good thing to notice, right? So it's this positive support. Our day, the metal is supported in a positive light as well with all that earth around it. So yeah, we have all of that earth, and yang earth supports yang metal, and yin earth would be kind of going against the grain, kind of itchy or scratchy, I guess is what I would say. But as per usual, we are in need of nature or wood. I would also bring in water, fire. We don't really, it's in storage. We don't really need more fire to escalate the energy of earth. There's plenty of it there. We've got lots of metal hidden as well, one in storage. Those are called heavenly stems. So it's like heaven energy coming down into the earth plane, the physical plane. So it's the cosmic energy down to the earth. But ground into the elements within nature, pick the one that really resonates with you. Nature could be a variety of things, so don't let your mind be too rigid with your thinking of what element to actually ground into. A wise tree or a not so wise tree, a new birthing tree, the grass, the wind, thunder. Those are all nature elements. And also water, the waves of the ocean could be salt water, water from a bubbling spring, natural birthing earth water. They all have this different frequency and they have a different energy and vibration as well, every one of them. So kind of choose the one that resonates with you or two, actually. But again, our day master is very strong and it's also supported. I myself, I have a weak and unsupported day master. Generally, people without support, they start their own businesses. They are go-getter, they have to bring in the element they're lacking. For me, it's water. So water is communication, Mercury ruled. That's why I have a house with pool. Water, it's not let I get in the pool, but I need water energy, the frequency of it, to get the support. And also, I get the energy of it when the year changes. If water's in the year, which it isn't, or the month, the energy of the month when that comes into play, or they're called 10-year luck period or cycles. But yes, I would find your inner nature and also your water element. It's really a day to take the commitment energy to the next level. We're at the end of Libra season. Putting the writing on the stone or in the wall, stones in our bones, that's also metal energy, the wisdom in the stones. And really connect with your emotional channel and make sure that the writing on the wall literally feels in alignment as well. So the path that we take will be the right one if our feelings are actually resonating with it. If you happen to not take into account your feelings, then our castle, it might have a struggle. So it's the commitment that we hold the bar, stay grounded. It's also the decision to commit to a relationship that's going to hold the bar, whatever kind of relationship that is. It could be in partnership, it could be your relationship to money, your relationship to your creativity, your career, the outer world. There's a variety of different kinds of relationships. I think I snipped through that on the Musing Moon meditation. I did that last week, so I can't remember exactly, but this moon's going to be magical. I'm super stoked. But so within our heart, it's this devotion that's actually felt, heartfelt. And it's easier if our heart is actually online and committed. If it's not, we kind of get that scrubbing effect, and the relationship, it's not gonna sink. It's not gonna hold ground. So if the feelings are juicy, not out of control, like a tropical storm or a hurricane, whatever you create or an idea, the path is actually going to have this potential to be elevated and hold space. And the promise is actually met. They're in alignment. So in our field of awareness, what you feel is the span of the relationship that your heart is in a desire. It's a desired aspect where your heart wants to reach. So my heart, myself, is ready to devote herself, to a personal dream. I have lots of heart-to-heart conversations myself in alignment with her. I nurture her. I have to nurture her, right? We all should. But the excitement should really resonate in and through your heart space with zero of the lower energies like fear, doubt, worry. Even some of the top ones, the doubts, the coulda, woulda, shouldas, regrets, resentments, all that crap, really. So myself, I really made the decision to commit to my online manifestations, my programs, my courses, my creations, just shifting gears to a new way of creating abundance for myself and my village and those around me. So the storyboard is actually getting an uplifted story as well. So my full moon message is one of signing my own contract with myself and, of course, my village, people seen and the unseen, the realms of the Cantomblé, the Wetames, the keepers of the wild. So with really all things in life, when we decide to commit, that thread needs to carry out with enthusiasm and excitement and just be open to kind of receiving the thread as well. So it's like it comes out and then it comes back in, or comes out and comes back in, sorry. And if the feeling you get is kind of bumpy or an off shade of gray even, there's ultimately a reason. So you kind of need to step back and look into that. Our third eye is online today, our channel of intuition. I would say wisdom channels to different dimensions and realms. Spirit could be anything really. It's our colorful vision center. So when color comes in through your third eye, that is the third eye. If a color comes in and it's grays or whites or blacks, that's actually your crown center trying to communicate spirit wise to you. But the colors that are online are indigo. My favorite is actually periwinkle. Shades of deeper purples to shades of deeper blues, or a blend. All of kind of the galactic grid colors, if you were to look out at the sky, a starry, starry night kind of thing, or even tune into images of the galactic corridor, space itself. And the seed sound is Om, or for me, I prefer the sound of silence when I go into my meditation zone, to where I can really frequent into the frequency of the other worlds, basically. The elemental sounds of water and wood, the shishing, and the woo, like blowing out a candle. I might bring in the ha, mostly for myself, fire to cleanse out my nasal cavity. Just saying. I could also boost the lungs with my essential oils, utilizing energy on energy with the lung points, or with light, just kind of whatever tunes in energetically to realign that. And now for fun, I pulled up the blue heron for the animal of the day, mostly because this was on our live show Sunday with some friends. But the blue heron says, you know how to take advantage of this situation. Use it for your own benefit. If you can, do it from your heart, which we should all resonate and do things from our heart. So it's prompting us to look deeper into aspects of our life. And when doing this, it's going to bring out our innate wisdom and show you how to become more self-reliant. Similar to the black jaguar, the heron meaning asks us to ground ourselves, not just once in a while, but regularly, which I think we all should do that as well. But this spirit animal teaches us that grounding ourselves into the earth and into our spiritual beliefs will assist us to discover emotional insights more clearly and also more quickly. So definitely it's a blue heron kind of day. It's also teaching us how to become comfortable in uncertain situations. So it would be kind of prudent to watch for opportunities so that you can quickly grasp them and also move on. It's also sometimes it's asking us to follow our path and not those of our peers, which I feel is, sometimes when we go off on our own path, people kind of shun us a little bit, but I feel like that's where growth truly happens. But it's asking us to find unconventional ways to be self-reliant and also productive. So the bird is suggesting that no matter what the task is, you can do it and you can also do it very well and find ways to do the things that you love in life and allow these things to pay you handsomely. I couldn't agree more with that also. But as a spirit animal or a totem, the blue heron, you love to explore various activities and dimensions of life on Earth. But on the surface, this might seem like a form of kind of dabbling. But similar to the fox, you are wonderfully successful at being a traditional jack of all trades. And also, this ability enables you to follow your own path. Most people will never quite understand the way you live, but on the surface, their lifestyle seems to be unstructured and without stability or security to it. It is, though, just a matter of perspective, which all things are, right? So there's a security underneath it all, for it gives you the ability to do a variety of tasks. If one way does not work, then another one will. Discovering alternatives is something a heron totem person seems to know inherently. It's like in your beingness. Folks with this spirit animal don't seem to need a lot of people in their life, nor do they feel pressured to keep up with the material world. These people also never are compelled to be traditional in their life roles. They stand out in their own uniqueness, and they know how to snatch and take advantage of things and events that the average person would leave untouched. Now, if you were to dream of a blue heron, that represents self-reliance, stability, tactfulness, careful forethought. So in other words, you're going to achieve a lot of success through your efforts, but also dreaming of this bird signifies your ability to explore and delve into your subconscious realms. So when you have a black heron in your dream, that's a message that you have been avoiding the opportunities that have been offered to you. So it's similar to the hedgehog and the porcupine, that you need to set aside your fears of failure and really jump into the void and really take action. So if you dream of a bright blue bird of this species, the heron, it's a reminder that there are times that you need to connect with others so that you can plan your next steps. So you need to communicate your intentions and allow people to give you input. There's a hidden gem in there that you will be able to take and also develop. So an entirely white bird of this type in your dream represents a spiritual connection. So in other words, your guides are trying to advise you in some way, which, a lot of people kind of tune off and don't tune into their guides, right? Sometimes we actually put them on the back burner until we have to stub our toe a few times. But the cards of the day. So I went back to my Shadowscape deck. I just love this deck, and I thought that the color kind of matched the frequency of today. It's kind of silvery, really, but I pulled first the Two of Wands. So you can kind of see here, she's up there surveying the land. She's up in the sky. You can also notice that that's kind of her domain. She's just checking out her subjects, her loyal subjects, and she's ruled over them, as far as the eye can see. And she can also see her ancestors before her in the foreground. So for a moment, a split second, she has her sight, her eyes out to see a vision of what she might accomplish in the future, in years to come. So she's been granted this power, but at last, this is the chance for her dreams to come to fruition, to really build the reality that she has envisioned long, for effervescent long time, for the lands that she's in charge of. But she also knows that she needs to grasp those reins of power and grasp them tightly. She needs to be bold. She also needs to be certain. She can't unwaver on her path, that she etches out for the people that are following her. And, if she doesn't do that, then people are going to be swift to pounce and take her place, if she shows any weakness at all. But her little companion there, the lion, he obviously knows his place. He's the king. He's the beast. So he's embodying courage and authority. And he's also up on the pinnacle there. It almost looks like he's got a horn, I would kind of say, as I'm staring at him. But he's staring down boldly, down to anyone or anything that might challenge either of them, really, or him as well. And he lifts his head, he's got a crackling mane. Again, I'm not sure what that is coming out of it. He's almost looking like a unicorn, right? I should kind of look into that. But his roar will ring out across time and space, out into the valley, to the farthest edges of his realm and the reach of his voice. But the Two of Wands is the emblem, seriously, of personal power, influence, authority, courage. So it's saying now's the time to be bold, be inventive, and not to stay away from doing what's actually necessary, but also, be aware of letting the intoxication of power cloud your mind and also our judgment. Sometimes that gets in the way, right? The illusion of power or the delusion, whichever way. And then I pulled the Two of Swords. And as you can see, hopefully you can see, she appears to be falling. And the birds aren't really helping her. Instead, they're kind of circling around her, creating this crazy spiral. And they're just they feel like vultures awaiting a certain death in a way. They're black, their wings might be like blades, their feathers like knives. They could be slicing at the cloth. She looks like she's falling. And even, pecking at her with their beaks in a way. Kind of crazy. But they're facilitating her plummeting into the earth realm at a fast speed there. She's like plummeting. But even though, they have these harsh screaming cries, they seem hostile in the gray and this night shade. But as air is passing through her into the hollow in this tuneless whistle, when you hear the wind go so quick, it whistles. The trees are reaching out below. They're barren, so they're looking like claws. I don't know if you've ever seen a tree that's caught on fire. My dad goes hunting, I should say camping. And the area caught on fire and the trees are naked, basically. But that's what they look like. So they're feeling like they're rotting from within. And she's kind of crying out into the sky. She's like, the end. Or is it just this curtain falling, that red sheath behind her, upon an act of this melodramatic kind of martyrdom kind of thing? But the Ten of Swords, that represents misfortune, desolation, burdens to bear, ruin, the end of the delusions. So it feels like the circumstances have kind of instigated this spiraling and uncontrollable kind of plunging. Just like how she's falling. Sometimes circumstances are literally beyond human control, right? So sometimes there's nothing to do but kind of ride out the waves, pick up the pieces when things finally come to a halt, and learn from the mishaps, whatever's happening around you. So it kind of has that energy as well. So today might be grasping for that too. And then the last card I pulled is the Seven of Cups. So you can see, or at least I hope you can see, her head appears to be lost out into the clouds. She has like stars in her eyes. She's glimmering, and her focus, her mental focus, is literally blocked by the moon, which I find curious because we have a full moon tomorrow. But she's looking to that castle, the pie in the sky, right? So she's mentally and physically, she's ungrounded. She's not grounded. And she's unaware of her kind of precarious little perch that she's on with her lover there. So in her eagerness, she might take one careless step and go plummeting herself into the abyss that surrounds them. Kind of reminds me of like being on the wall of China, but like thinner kind of wall. And the winds themselves, those are whipping her hair around. There's this turmoil. There's also this crazy excitement. But meanwhile, her lover there, he's a little more grounded. While she's gazing to the vision of this floating dream out there, the pie in the sky, the castle, it actually kind of looks like a tree, really. But his eyes are on all the castles that are surrounding them. I don't know if you've seen my personal page. I share a lot of images of castles. I think they're fascinating. So even though it's the pie in the sky, it's actually difficult to reach. It kind of feels that way. So, things are attainable, even though sometimes they're mysterious. He's looking at his map. He's looking for the symbols, whatever symbols are hidden, and he knows this yearning, this pain of yearning for the impossible dream. However, she doesn't. So she's saying, look up. Her fingers are kind of lingering on his shoulder, kind of urging him to listen to her desires and see what she's seeing. But he's just absently nodding, and he's trying to ignore the thoughts of, what if we could reach the floating citadel in the sky, the pie in the sky. But he's also continuing to scrutinize his map that was given to him by a magician, the magic wand, right? But the Seven of Cups, that involves indulging in fantasies. So sometimes we have too many options to choose from. With so many paths, our tasks can become daunting in a way where we have just too many desires. And some of them are within the realm of our reality, but others not so much. Some are wise, different actions to take, just wise wisdom. Others are simply, they sing the song, the siren song of temptation that could lead to a destructive path. That's kind of like when you take the path of kind of destruction, not realizing it because you're running off of your fear molecules, not your heart molecules. Your heart will never lead you astray. It's just we tend to not tune into it so much. But there are these unlimited possibilities. So with the energy of today and also these cards, I would totally ground your emotional channel, be kind to your feelings, and also at the same time, protect your heart from anything that doesn't actually feel great. And you get to decide, what we really want to open up to on a day like today. So, I'm in alignment with what my heart believes and open to not only those unlimited possibilities, but also those endless possibilities. So it'd be like affirming, to affirm my future is bright and my personal dreams are online. Again, I would probably not write down more than 10. I would probably stick with 3, sit with the 3, and then pick the one that actually is the most aligned with your heart space, and really say that for your the full moon, your intention. You can burn it if you want. You could put it on your altar if you want, a shrine, bury it. Doesn't really matter. It's all about you. So do whatever your heart calls you to. So with that, InShalla and Ashe, and as always, I will see you on the other side.